read most of the research article, and they did not account for. I'm always wary flashy titled studies like these because they heavily imply causation. People who bike to work are more likely to be healthy conscious people. They may eat healthier, be already less obese, not smoke, and do other exercises. A better study would find people similar across those categories and see if a biking commute on top of a relatively healthy lifestyle makes a significant difference in mortality. Cycling Cycologist Vintage Shirt about how turning vegan will give you superpower levels of health. When really it's picking up that vegans are people who are already extremely committed to their health, already physically active, already don't smoke, can afford an expensive custom food diet, etc. Very good point. I ride for fun rather than commuting. But it's made me control my drinking, which can get out of hand, and stick to a healthy diet to keep the weight off. I also do stretches and core strength exercises almost daily, because they stop me from getting sore when I do hills and long rides. Once you get a passion for cycling, it helps in so many ways. Aside from your bank balance. Cycling Cycologist Vintage Shirt. Tank top, V-neck. Ladies' tee for men and women. Tank top, V-neck. If more people had a basic understanding of that difference, we wouldn't be running into flat earth, COVID-19 deniers, etc. Almost all the anti-scientific stances you can come up with generally boil down to people not understanding what standard of evidence is required. And Cycling Cycologist Vintage Shirt tore the wider application of those findings. I lived 2 kilometers from work and drove every day until I sold my truck. I started biking while I was looking for a new vehicle, and 3 I've stopped looking at cars and just Nike every day. Growing up in the country, it's just so ingrained in you that you drove everywhere that it's a weird habit to break. You also need a safe route. I'm about 7 miles from my office by car, and my husband is about 8 miles. He can bike to work because the roads to his office have bike lines. The 8-mile car route for me involves a limited access highway, and going any other route would add another 3 to 4 miles or be completely unsuitable for bicycle riding, as the secondary fast route has no bike lanes. Official Cycling Cycologist Vintage Sweatshirt. Hoodie. Sweatshirt. Hoodie. While it would be nice to hear from the authors, the list reflects a desire to control things. What happens before people start riding for work? Controlling for things that happen as a result of cycling, like lower BMI or other health outcomes, would introduce post-treatment bias. Having lived in Davis, CA, and Minneapolis, Cycling Cycologist Vintage Shirt, I would see this comment once someone mentioned bike cities. Davis is 100x more bike-friendly. In order to enjoy the greenways in MPLS, you have to go through fairly dangerous residential and commercial areas. The ranking is likely based on miles of trail per capita. But MPLS is really not that bike-friendly unless you intend to drive to a trail. Not to mention the weather prevents riding half the year. I also have lived in Davis, and trying to do a major metropolis like Minneapolis safety-wise is ridiculous. Davis is a small college town in the middle of nowhere, and Minneapolis has 6x the population. Other products.